Welcome in. It's a Varsity Vibe. I am your host, Alyssa Orange. It is always great to be with you. And guys, I am so excited for the conversation that I have to share with you today. I was able to go over to Fayetteville and sit down with their head coach, Ed Duncan. And it's so fun when you talk to people and learn that they kind of fall into things they never expected and then grow to love it and have a passion for it. That's exactly what happened with softball. As a dual sport athlete growing up, playing football and baseball, kind of fell into coaching softball, even went away from it, and it brought it back. He has been in love with the sport and learning the sport and teaching the sport for over 20 years. And it is exciting to share his story on and off the field. So enjoy this conversation with Fayetteville Softball head coach, Ed Duncan.
10 years at Fayetteville, 4th year as a head coach. When you entered this season, is anything ever different year to year, or you've been just around the game for so long, it's just kind of rinse and repeat?
Well, it's different every year because you come in with the expectations. You think you know what type of team you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of predict like, hey, this is where we should be. But you honestly never know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could go one way or the other. So, I mean, it's a year by year thing.
Mm-hmm. How do we feel about the year so far?
Feel really good about the year. We have a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of girls who will be going to the next level that we're going to lose at the end of this year. That's bittersweet. But we started off really good. Hit a little bit of a skid, but hopefully we can get back on track.
When you look at the sport overall in the 10 years that you've been coaching here at Fayetteville and how long you've been in the game, how much have you seen it evolve from where it was when you got into it?
It has evolved tremendously.
Yeah.
When I first got into it here in Fayetteville, there was not a high interest 10 years ago, but recently there has been an increase in participation, especially with the youth leagues and the high school team. So very, very happy to see that happening, and it continues to increase every year.
Yeah, and it benefits you with the talent that you have coming in. How much do you think that plays a role with, one, what's happening across the street at the university and their success, but just the public national growth of the sport in general and the exposure that it gets?
So a big thing that actually helps is that the University of Arkansas's softball team is doing so well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
And that creates interest from girls who may have not been looking at it serious, but now all of a sudden the University of Arkansas is very successful. And now, hey, they want to get into it, and I think that's great. I think that's outstanding that they are doing so well, and I hope they continue to do so.
What is it about the game that you enjoy the most when it comes to coaching?
And I know a lot of people may call me crazy, but it's the process. It's the off season, because the off season is where, that's where you win and lose, to be honest with you. Once you get to the season, it's what you've done in the off season. You're on cruise control. So I love the process. I love the off season, and I love watching kids grow. I love watching them grow through the off season, and so they can get to the game time, and they can perform what they've been working on, or what you've taught them. So that's the part I enjoy.
I love that you say that, because growing up as a softball player myself, off season meant I played volleyball during the winter because there was nothing else to do. And I showed up at practice in February, got told to run the mile and then go to the field. It looks so different now. And so when you say the off season, what does it look like for Fayetteville?
So our off season, we have probably about 3 or 4 girls who play different sports. So a majority of our players of our team, they are there the whole year.
Yeah.
And it could be a grind. It could be a struggle for the ones that are just doing softball. But I think it makes them stronger, and it makes them tougher. What our off season looks like, we'll do strength and conditioning, a lot of character building, try to create some team chemistry, work on things that we feel like that we struggle to accomplish the year before. So that's how I go into every off season, as what did we struggle with last year,
Yeah.
and how can we get better.
Yeah. It's been really cool to pick coaches' brains about how they handle developing their players off the field play. What have you found that has been a really rewarding way to pour into your girls that you then see not only in the players that they are, but the people that they become?
So I preach to them all the time about having good character and good work ethic, because that will follow you throughout life. You know, when you're long gone, nobody's gonna, everybody's gonna remember what kind of person you were. Um, and that's what I try to instill in them, like, hey, have good character and have a strong work ethic, because I think they go hand in hand. And I I constantly bring that up all the time. What kind of person are you outside of softball? In the classroom, if I see you at Walmart, how are you going to be acting? So that's one thing that we have gotten a whole lot better at. And I think they understand where I'm trying to guide them, because one day they're going to have jobs and they're going to have a family, and you have to have good character. Nobody wants to work with someone who is always uptight and not a good person. Nobody wants to be around that, including your family. So you'll have a family one day, and it's like, oh, I don't. So I just try to instill that in them and let them realize that that'll take you a long way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, looking at the long term and the short term. How did you get into the sport?
so this is a long story.
Okay.
So I started out. I played football and baseball and basketball and track all through high school, but
Okay.
um, I was very blessed, and I was a very good player in football and baseball. So I went to college to play football and baseball, and not very many colleges will let you do that.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Those dual sport athletes were few and far between. They still are.
Yeah,
So
yes. And a lot of colleges just wanted you to play one or the other. So Arkansas Tech University let me play both.
Yeah.
And I finished my baseball career and my football career at Arkansas Tech University. Started coaching baseball. And I had a friend of mine, a coach, Greg Jones.
Sure.
I hope he doesn't mind. He said
I'm sure he doesn't.
he left. I was at Morrill, my hometown. He left, and I became the head coach. And I talked to him about 2 or 3 years later, and he said, and he was coaching softball at the time. And I talked to him, and he said that once you start coaching softball, you'll never want to coach baseball again. And I was like, come on, Greg, I'm a baseball guy. Right. So anyway, I got an opportunity a few years later to coach softball.
Yeah.
And I started coaching it, and I was like, he is absolutely right. So then the next job I got at Brinkley, I was the head football coach, head softball coach. And
That's unique.
yes, it's unique. And a lot of people say that. And I'm an art teacher, by the way.
Okay, well, I was going to say, you just breezed over the art thing, and we were going to come back to it. Don't worry. We were going to come back to it.
So anyway, I started coaching it. I was a head football coach, head softball coach, and then I left and went to Wynn, Arkansas. I don't know if you know where that is. For 3 years, and got back into baseball again. And I came to Fayetteville after that, and I was an assistant coach, assistant softball, assistant football coach. So I have some experience with both baseball and softball, but I love coaching softball. It gave me a new. I'm trying to think of the better word. It refreshed my career, because this is year 20. This will be year 27 coming up for me coaching. So I had done football and baseball, and when I start coaching softball, it kind of refreshed my career. So love it. Would not want to do anything else.
So when you got told you'd never go back, you tried to leave it and it sucked you back in. What is the difference as a former baseball player, now softball coach? Obviously, there are very obvious differences with the sport, but from a X's and O's and game plan philosophy kind of thing, speed of the game, what is it that draws you into this game?
What draws me in is, first of all, it's fast paced, it's quick. That is the one thing. Everything happens so much faster.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And baseball and softball are similar, except when it comes to pitching and base running. And I will tell anybody this: pitching a softball underhand at a high velocity is one of the hardest things that
I've broken enough windows to do it. That it ain't for everybody.
it is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the hardest things that I've coached a lot of sports, but it is hard. So when I became the head coach at Brinkley, I thought to myself, like, I don't want to try to teach someone something that I don't know how to do. So I would spend hours in the gym learning how to pitch.
How did that go?
It actually went good because
Did you break anything?
I didn't break.
Good. Okay.
I didn't break anything.
Okay, good.
So I would spend hours in the gym learning how to pitch because I don't want to try to coach anyone something that I don't know how to do myself. So I had to learn how to do it. And I think it helped me whenever later on down the road, whenever I started trying to develop pitchers. So it is extremely difficult. And if once you fix one problem, then there's another problem. Then you have to fix that problem, then you have to fix another one. So extremely difficult.
Yeah.
But I'm finding ways every single day to try and make it better for my players.
And it's so cool. Let's just focus on the pitching side of things and dive into this conversation. Everyone, if you don't know the sport, are like, how can they go and pitch 132 pitches and they pitch back to back to back to back? And it's obviously the wear and tear on your shoulder versus the overhand throw of a baseball. But the longevity and the stamina to be a pitcher in the circle is one of the toughest things to do in sport, like, period.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Well, it's a natural movement. Like, if you think about it, like the way we walk, right? Like, what other sport do you use your arm that way? The only one I could think of is bowling.
Right. Bowling. That's about it. Right.
So
maybe in a golf swing of sorts, but you're using both arms.
Yeah.
So it doesn't count.
So, I mean, you do everything this way, and then all of a sudden you have to do it this way. It's that, I think that's what makes it so hard, because you do everything the other way, but then all of a sudden now you have to throw this way. And people don't understand that, and it's extremely difficult. Trust me. It took me a long time.
How long did it take to kind of
Probably like a year and a half,
Okay.
just to be able to throw strike.
Yeah, right.
Like, and
not hit the ground first before you got to the plate.
and realize, like, okay, I need to snap here, or my timing, I need to stride here. Like, it took a minute for me to figure it out. Yeah. And as far as some people say, well, one pitcher can throw 5 or 6 games. No, it depends on how your stamina and your legs, because once that goes, then your timing goes, and now it gets all over the place. So it depends on how good of a shape that a pitcher is in, whether they can throw 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
Like, in a back-to-back. So
yeah, go find out how much a pitcher can bench press. That'll tell you how long they're going to stay. Sir, I mean, that's the kind of stat. It's crazy impressive. And then by the time you've hit that stride, and I mean, hitting a softball is hard. I mean, it's a beautiful sport, and we can sit here and talk about it forever and ever. Going back to when you were done with college and you were trying to figure out what it was that you wanted to do. I was reading an article about how you were hoping to maybe get drafted and it didn't happen. and then you got a phone call that got you into coaching.
Yes.
What was that phone call like?
So that phone call was, first of all, I'm just going to go back. So I had finished football. So you only get 10 semesters. So I had to sit out a year of baseball in order to get a extra semester or an extra year.
Okay.
So what I did was I sit out, I think, my junior year of baseball, and I just played 4 straight years of football. So at the end of my 4 years of football, I got a phone call from a scout or agent, and they had this thing called NFL Europe, and they asked me, was I interested in going to play in this NFL Europe? And I told them, I remember I was like, I'm going to see what this baseball thing does. I'm going to stick it out. So anyway, I come back my 5th year, and it's my senior year of baseball. And I come back and I play, and, I have an okay season. I got injured. I pulled my hamstring. So my numbers were not what they were the year before. So back then you had the draft. You could listen to it on the radio. That just tells you my age. So I'm listening, and I go to plenty of pre-draft tryouts. Where they come in and I guess they evaluate you before the draft. So anyway, I probably go to like 6, like the Cardinals, the White Sox, the Cubs, the Devil Rays, like. And so draft day comes, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And it was probably one of the more depressing times in my life, as far as, because I'm very competitive, like very competitive.